Hey guys, welcome to DevOps School. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about Rancher.
But before we begin, let me inform you few things about us. DevOps School is one of the leading platforms which offers DevOps, cloud and containers technology training and certification programs for freshers and established professionals who wish to update and consolidate their skills in the dynamic IT scenario. We ensure that the training solutions are delivered by highly experienced domain experts with practical working experience in various verticals. Check out the dates and enroll with us for our upcoming batches. For more info, link and contact details are mentioned in the description below.
Okay, so yes, we install the cert manager. Okay, can we check the cert manager? Let's check the cert manager validations, whether everything is okay or not. I run the some more command. Here it is, it's running. Now, next thing, you have to install Rancher with the Helm and with your chosen options. Okay, so which options we decided? Rancher generated certificate, no. Let's encrypt, yes. Certificate from files, no. So you can go for the let's encrypt also. You can go for the Rancher generated certificate. By the way, for us, both the options are available. You want to go for Rancher generated certificate, that's okay. You want to go for let's encrypt, that's okay. Because if you look at the table here, I wanted to install the cert manager. You see that cert manager? So you need this one, yes, and cert manager you need this one. For this option, both the options you required, yes. Okay, so now I will go ahead and let's say install either Rancher generated certificates, or you can go for the let's encrypt. I'm okay with it, anything. But you know what, here you will get some sort of warning. Why? Because we should be having the public DNS load balancer and stuff like that. Because if you don't have, so let's encrypt will find a little bit difficult to generate a certificate for you. Though it will generate a certificate, it will work, but there will be lots of warnings for it. So Rancher generated certificate also we can go for it, and for that this is the command. For the list, let's encrypt, this is the command. Okay, so you have to understand this. So let's go ahead and for time being, let's try these options. Okay, this is the command I'm going to try. Clear the screen, and here install Rancher latest namespace and Rancher my.org, that's a host name, what, and replicas 3, that's okay. So that is the command which you are going to do that. By the way, you must be wondering why I have not specified Rancher generated certificate, because it is a default. You see that here, Ingress TLS source, which is the default. So that's the reason we are not specifying this. But if you go for this, you have to specify. You see that here. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's the reason I'm not specifying here. And finally, I will run it. Enter. That's all. Now, what I have to do, I have to validate whether its deployment has happened or not. So copy, and you see that still is in progress. It's not happened. So 3 pods I asked to deploy, out of which 0 pod has been deployed. So just wait for it. It will be deployed. It takes some few times because image downloading, it's the main thing. After that, everything is just so fast. So just wait for it. Automatically you'll have a 3 pods deployed.
Can you explain a little bit namespace?
What is that?
Can you explain namespace?
Sorry, I'm finding difficult to hear you clearly.
Can you explain namespace?
Okay, can I explain the namespace? Is that your question?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So let it come, because I'm just don't want to come out of this console because it's still in progress. If I interrupt this, this command will be interrupted. I don't want to open up a new session. Just give us few seconds. After that, we'll be able to run that command. Okay. Yeah, it's done almost. And here you see one deployment has happened. Second deployment has happened. Third deployment, I'm waiting for it. It should be taking lesser than few seconds, I guess. Almost done. Just wait for a few more seconds. Done. Okay, so now you see that rollout has been successfully done. Now you can do whatever the command you want. So let's verify. This command will help you to verify and get you the rollout status. Now you want to see the name, I mean the pods. So let me get you the pod. So here, this is the namespace get pods, and you see that here, this is all the ranchers pod which got deployed. Okay, so these all are rancher pod which is got deployed, part of the deployment. Name of the deployment is rancher. I'll show you here. Get deploy. Here it is, and that's all. You have it. So rancher got deployed. Okay, by the way, along with it, we got a services also. I would like to show you the services. Here it is. So these are the services which you see that in front of you. So these are the services got deployed for rancher. So this is the rancher webhook, rancher webhook services, rancher webhook, and rancher. This is the main service which you wanted. Okay, so that's all. So rancher deployment is successfully done. Now after that, what you going to do? You want to probably you should run this command and check that. I have already run those commands and showed you, so that's okay. So after this, this is the option to whatever the option you run, whatever the option I run here, whatever the options, these options to you should save it. Why? Because if you save it during the upgrade, you required to refer those documents. So when you in future after 1 year or 2 years, once you come back and upgrade this, you need those kind of options, whatever the option provided with the set option. Like here, you see that this is the set option, this is the set option, and here also you provided few options here. So you should remember all this thing. So you should use that for the upgrade. So yes, it's done. Now next thing is, how can we access? You know what? All this rancher is running in front of you, but what is the type of service? Clustered IP. Okay, so clustered IP service, you know that it's not accessible out of what? Out of cluster. Are you understanding? So this clustered IP address, and this is the port number for HTTP, and this is the HTTPS port number. It's not accessible outside of the cluster, but I want to visualize over the browser. Okay, so what do we do? So in this case, I am going to play some tricks just to see the UI part of it. Now you will ask me what tricks. So what I will do, I will convert this type into the node port of the Kubernetes cluster, a service, or load balancer. But right now I don't have a load balancer, so I will do that with the node port. That means this rancher I can access with the IP address also. Are you understanding?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want to little bit detailing, you should understand the Kubernetes service concept, and there are 4 types of service. One is the clustered IP, second one is the node port, third one is a load balancer, and fourth one is external. Okay, so you will understand those stuff what I'm talking about. So now let's do that. So now the question is, how do I convert into that? There are long commands, but I have a short commands also, and the commands which I'm having is located at my notes, and that is somewhere here. Okay, so these all commands, it will help you to convert your cluster IP to the node port. So I'm using one of my commands. I don't need to use all these commands because one will work for me, and this command I'm using is this one. Okay, so I have to fill this form. Okay, so what is the namespace? Cattle system. So I will add -n cattle system. Now, oh, see, this is the mistake. You should add after that. Okay, and SBC, what is the service name? The service name is Rancher. Okay, now what is the patching you want to do? You want to change that from the cluster IP to the node port. This is the replacement. Okay, So can we run this command? Are you understanding this command?
Can you explain that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so this is patching. This is a patching. Basically, you can change the type. By the way, you can change manually also, but this will be much easier for you. You can basically you can edit this. So how do you edit? So edit means edit command svc and name of the rancher service. This also you can do that, but it's a pretty long file where and all you have to modify. It's like pretty complicated. Basically, you have to change this type. Clustered IP is here. Type. Where is the type? Can you see the type? I'm just trying to find out the type spec. Here it is, clustered IP. So here we have to change the node port. Okay, so I'm not doing manually because it is prone to the error. This automated command will help me do that. So can I do that? I just run. It's patched. Can I see down? See the difference. The clustered IP got converted into the node IP. And which port number? The port number for HTTPS is 30347. That means my cluster, the rancher is installed, and same time it's accessible on the IP address of the node, and the port number is 30347. Are you understanding now?
Yes.
Okay. So now
we
let
convert to
yeah, tell me.
we convert to not, so can we access rancher by not, right?
Sorry, can you please loud and clear?
So I mean that when you convert like that, we can access rancher UI, right?
Yes. Okay. Why I'm doing actually for UI part only. I am
Yeah.
converting from the clustered IP to node port because I want to access through the browser.
Yes, I got it.
Yes. Okay. Maybe I'm not able to hear your questions or understand. So maybe if you type your questions, probably it will be easy for me.
Sorry.
No, I don't know whether I'm answering your questions or not because I'm not able to understand your questions clearly. So if you can type the questions in the chat box, probably I can answer.
Yes. You understand my question and
Okay.
clear for me.
Okay, great. Okay, so what is my IP address then? So my IP address is this one, and the port number which we have to the node port HTTPS is this one, and that's my rancher address. And I should go and browse it. And there's some problem, and the problem is it should be HTTPS. And done. Now there's a certificate error. It will be genuine. You will get a certificate error. You have to ignore it. And here is your dashboard. Now that's the Rancher dashboard when you install the very first time. Now let me remind you, you need to read it this one. When you install the Rancher using Docker, which I did not, then you can run this command to get the password for Rancher. But when you install the Rancher using Helm package using in Kubernetes, then you need to run this command to get a password. So can I run this command to get a password? This Helm command, let me run it and enter. Now this is your password. Please note it down. This is your password. Username is admin, by the way. Okay. So this is my password. Now I'll feed this password here. This is my password, and I feed the password here, and then log in with local user, and done. Now they're saying, hey, I have your password, but do you want to set a new password? Use a randomly generated password or set a specific password. This is a good practice. Okay, if you don't want to set the password, you can still continue, but it's a good practice to set the password which is randomly generated. So I'm okay with this password. So my password which got randomly generated for me from here to here is becoming here. Okay, and after this I agree terms and conditions, and this my server URL. Okay, continue, save it, and now I have to use this revised password to log in and log in with the local user and agree, continue. There's some error. Yeah, so it has some error, probably certificate error, I believe, but it is now accessible. So now this is your Rancher home page. So this is your Rancher. From here you can deploy more clusters, you can manage the clusters, and many other stuff you can do. Make sense? So far so clear? Hello? Son, are you able to hear me? Hello? Hello? Seems fine from here. Are you able to hear me?
This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so now this is the home page which we wanted. Rancher, using this we can manage multiple Kubernetes clusters, we can deploy, we can delete the cluster, we can manage, we can see the utilizations and everything. So now if you look at this here, many UIs part we need to get comfortable. This is the welcome to Rancher, some community supports and commercial supports. Here's some getting started and stuff like that. How many clusters do you have? I have one cluster. I'm not sure about how come I got a one cluster. Any idea? Do you have any idea how do we get one cluster here? Because I have not deployed any cluster so far from Rancher.
But we using on one virtual machine, right?
Yes. The remember that Rancher we deploy in the cluster, and the Rancher is managing the same cluster also. So what is the name of this cluster? Local. What is the version of Kubernetes? 1.3.23. How much CPU utilizations you have, memory utilizations you have, number of pods you have. Let me match this number. 12 by 110. That means out of 1 and 10 pods, 12s are running right now. Okay, so this is the UI. Now extreme right, you see this is your preferences. This is my username, admin, and these are some of the preferences. You have accounts and APIs keys, logout options, some dot options where you can set the login page and some of the hidden cards. Left side you have all the options which you should spend time with it. So here you have a home, here you have a local cluster, the one which I'm managing. Here some of the applications you have for CD, continuous deployment, cluster management, virtualization management, some user authentications. Here you have global settings. Here you have. So all these options we should learn actually. You should learn one by one. But before that, you know what? I will let you explore one of the cluster which I am managing, and that is the one local one. Look at this here. The one which you see here, you should again you should be comfortable with the Kubernetes concept. Very good. So you can see that here. Look at this. This is the namespace. Number of nodes. I have 2 nodes only. Some of the members here. Workload means all the pods related work. Here some of the apps and marketplace, service discovery, storage, and some of the more resources. So yes, just go and check it out. How many projects you have? Projects and namespace. So here I see there is a project named default, there is a project named system, and in the system project I see the multiple namespaces are there. Okay, you see that these are the namespaces. You want to see that? I can command line also. I can show you this data. kubectl get ns. See here. These are all the ns, but you are seeing through UI part. Okay, so these are the ns means namespace, and you can create a few projects actually. Here you can see that you can create a project, you can add a namespace into it. All these things we'll do that one by one, but not now. I'm making you just comfortable, not creating anything for that, for the sake of it. Get comfortable first of all. Then nodes. How many nodes we have? Here we have 2 nodes. Look at the CPU utilization, RAM utilization, ports, and all stuff like that. I can also run this using command line also. See that here. Okay, so here also you have it. How many clusters members? Right now, nothing. I have not added any other members. Workload. So workload means pod, deployment, daemon set, replica sets, cron job, and all these things, job, stateful sets. So these are your workload. I have not deployed any application so far. Remember that this you must be wondering. So I have deployed so many pods. Here you see get pods. I don't have, but if you see the get pods and hyphen all namespaces, you have so many pods. So why it's not showing here? So basically this place you will see only the user pod, not the system pod. For the system pod you have to go to the system places. So here no pods deployed, stateful set, no jobs, no deployments, daemon sets, no cron job. You can do that if you want to deploy it. Okay, so all this thing it can be seen here. Apps and marketplace, which are the applications you installed app, nothing. I have not installed any apps. What is the repository which is defaultly added? So you can see that as part of the rancher, these are the repositories got added actually. Okay, so here you can download, YAML, delete, all this thing you can do that. Just first get comfortable. Okay, and some recent operations. Installed app I have not done. You can do it. Service discovery, which are this? So service discovery, which include HPA, horizontal port scaler, ingresses, network policy, services. I am having Kubernetes. So this Kubernetes services, you want to see that here? Kubernetes, kubectl, get SVC. Here it is. This is the service. So you just click on it and you see that all explode about it. So if you are not comfortable with the command line, at least you should be comfortable with the UI part. So you see that here. This is the service. Port specifications, selector, conditions, related resources, ports, and stuff like that. So yeah, here if you look at this, every resources you can see the detailed one, which is the UI configurations. Also you can see that here, and then YAML file also. This is the YAML file for that particular service. Okay, if you want to see this stuff, you can describe it. So for example, command, for everything there's a command. So if you understand the command, you can understand the UI also very well. So here this is the command and here it is. Okay, so you can export this time in the JSON format also and also like that. Okay, these are storage. I have not deployed any storage in my cluster. Current cluster is a fresh one. Storage includes PVs, persistent volumes, storage class, config map, PVC, persistent volume claims, and secret. We have 3 secrets. The secret, if you want to see that, so kubectl get secrets. And here it is 1. So all name spaces. User secrets are many, but you will be having 3 secrets. Whichever the namespace you created, that will be counted actually. So get ns. See here. So these are the namespaces whichever you created. You can see that here also. Here default. This secret, there's one secret which is local namespace, this one local namespace and default. So these are the 3 secrets, you got it. Okay, and more resources. So these are the more resources under this admissions. These all are API resources of Kubernetes. I repeat, API resources of Kubernetes. There are 60 resources. Okay, admissions, APIs. Here you have certificates related, clustered provisioning related, core related, all this stuff. You have 2 nodes and all stuff like that. Discovery related, Philite, Rancher, RBAC, cluster role binding, and stuff like that. Schedules. So basically, you can browse anything. Right now, one cluster is added, which is a local only. So you can browse anything, you can explore everything, and you can manage everything. Now, you should check this cluster management. That's where you're going to deploy the new cluster. So now your team wants 5 more clusters. So how do you do that? How do you do that? So there are some prerequisites which we have. Using that, you have to do that. So first of all, you have to add cloud credentials. Okay, that is important. Cloud credentials. Though if you don't add it, it will ask you on ad hoc basis. So here, where do you add a cloud credentials? You see that cloud credentials All of you? I mean, Son? Here? Son, are you there?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So let's say you want to deploy one cluster on EKS or Azure or Google Cloud or anything. You have to add a credentials. So here token you have to add. Let's say which one you want to add: Amazon, Azure, DigitalOcean, Google, Harvester, Loinity. These are the compatible one. Okay. If you install the more apps, you will be having more compatibility. For example, if you install, let's say, Amazon, so you have to set this your AWS access key and secret token. It's a one-time activity. You can name it whatever you want. Okay. After the setting of the credentials, you have to deploy the new cluster. So here, create a new cluster. Now they will ask you, hey, you want to create a cluster where? You want to create a cluster on EKS, Azure, Google Cloud, Amazon EC2. Here, Azure, DigitalOcean, Harvester, and these are all the options, or custom. So here, custom means use existing nodes and create the cluster using R key. This is interesting. This we will do that. Because if we create a clusters on EKS, AKS and all, it's a cost, lots of costs are involved. It will create us tens of machines and all stuff like that. But if you create a clusters using this, it's a free services. So use existing nodes and create a cluster using RKE. By the way, RKE, what was the RKE? We discussed the first or second day. What was the RKE?
Rancher Kubernetes NG.
Yes. So Rancher has developed their own Kubernetes version of deployment. Okay. So if they want to deploy in a quickest way, you can use RK. So we will use RK a lot, but yes, probably we'll try EKS also, but it's all our cost involved. Basically, it will create 10, 12 machines immediately, and load balancer will be created, basically production ready and all stuff like that. So all this configuration will be pretty high actually. So we'll have to be a little bit careful about it. This is very cost effective because you can create a cluster in your nodes. So yeah, so there's so many options are there. So let's say if you go for Amazon EKS, they'll ask you, hey, give me that name of the clusters and give me that which region you want to deploy and give me your credentials actually here. And they will do their everything. And after that, again, it'll become a, right now I have one cluster, so it'll become a 2 clusters. And again, you can explore just like the one which I'm doing for this. So yes, many things which we need to understand one by one. So we need to understand the cluster management in detail. We need to understand authentication and authorization, some of the global settings, many options are there. We need to understand the virtualization management. This for this we need a physical servers. Okay, without a physical servers we cannot proceed further, because this option is only for the bare metals. See that. Okay, so if you want to set up a Kubernetes, if you want to deploy the Kubernetes in the bare metal, then you can use the Harvester for that. And these are the virtualizations and stuff like that, and get going. So yes, this is the, at a high level, this is the overview of Rancher. And now, after this, next class, what we are going to do, we are going to understand each and every options which we have. And this is done, deployment done. And after that, we are going to manage the Rancher. So we'll need to understand authentications, all these options available, RBAC system we need to understand, projects concept we need to understand, and many more things we need to understand. So that will be done in the next class. Any questions which you have?
Yeah, can you explain Ingress?
Ingress. Hello?
Yes.
Yes. So I'll put it in a simple way, okay, because it's a hour-long session actually. Ingress is a pretty hard. Okay, so I'm putting in the little bit my own way. Probably it will help you. Let's check it out. So let's say this is the Kubernetes cluster, okay, powered by multiple node, one node, 2 node, 3 node, 4 node. So this is powered by 4 node cluster. Now you know what? Now let's say you are running the pods here. One, let me draw pictures. One, there's a multiple pod you are running, 1, 2, 3, 40, 50, whatever it is. Now let's say this pods, if you want to access, and this is the one pod, There's a four application. Application 1, application 2, application 3, and application 4. So if you want to access all these 4 applications, tell me one thing, how do you access? From outside, this is the outside of the cluster. How do you access?
We need to map box, right?
No, you have to create a service actually. And service you have to expose to the load balancer. And the load balancer, using that you can access. So how many service you need? 4 service. And how many load balancer you need? 4 load balancer. Correct now? So you want to access this pod outside of the cluster. How many load balancer you need using the service? 4 load balancer. But load balancer divided by cloud, which is a cost consuming. So what do we do in this case? That is where we do what, we install the Ingress Controller. Please understand, there's a 2 component, Ingress Controller, and there is one called Ingress. Okay, this is Ingress and this is the controller. So controller basically is an app like Ingress Controller. There's so many options like Nginx, many options are there. You search for this Ingress Controller, list of controller. Tens of options are there. Nginx is the free, which you can use it, but tens of options are there. See that these all are options are Ingress Controller. Okay, many of these are paid, but Nginx, if you use it, it's a free of cost. Somewhere it is somewhere here. Where is that? Let me search here. So this is the free of cost. Okay, you can use this as an open source. So now what happened? We Ingress Controller we deploy in the cluster. So you know what? All the traffic comes to the Ingress, and Ingress Controller will decide. Okay, will read the rule. Ingress is nothing but a rule. I repeat, please hard code this statement. Ingress is nothing but a rule. Routing rule. Do you know the concept of routing rule?
Yes, I know.
Yes. So Ingress is nothing but a routing rule. This is Ingress. This is the controller. We hit to the controller. Controller read the rules, routing rules, and as per the rules, they will transfer the traffic to here or this service or this service or this service. So that way, you just need only one load balancer, and rest of the things you can manage from the one. Make sense?
Yes. Ingress, it looks
I just
like
covered
root.
it at high level. Remember, if someone will ask you, hey, define the ingress. So you should say like this. Ingress has a 2 component. One is a controller and one is an ingress. Ingress is a rules. Ingress controller is powered by some software like Nginx. Okay. So what we do, this Nginx Ingress Controller, we expose to the outside of the world with the load balancer, and people hit to the Ingress Controller. Ingress Controller read the rules of Ingress, and based on that, traffic diversion happen, routing happen. Make sense?
Okay. Yes, it look like router for routing, right?
Routing, yes. Ingress, you can also add this statement is application load balancer. There are 2 kind of load balancer: network, application. It's the application load balancer. Okay.
Yes.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan, and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone, if you would like to access the remaining videos of this playlist of 50 plus more tools which are coming under DevOps, DevSecOps, SRE, DataOps, GitOps, etc. Kindly become our channel members by clicking on the joining button. You would have access to 100s of playlists and 1000s of videos lifetime access with this membership. Enjoy.